Hi, I'm Miranda Cosgrove. Hi, I'm Miranda Cosgrove. Hey there, I'm Miranda Cosgrove. Hi, I'm Miranda Cosgrove. Hi, I'm Miranda Cosgrove. Hi, I'm Miranda Cosgrove. Hi, I'm Miranda Cosgrove, and this is Mission Unstoppable.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Today I Learned
here on Mission Unstoppable. In case you've never been here before, we're live currently on Twitch and we're on YouTube. So we're very excited. We have multiple shows a week. My voice always sounds like this. And it's very fun. We do 3 different shows a week, sometimes even 4. And they're all about fun little STEM related things.
So in case you don't know, Elena wanted me to sing it, but maybe later. I'm sure it'll happen at some point during the stream. But in case you don't know, Mission Unstoppable is a very fun show that's all about women working in science, technology, engineering, and math. So our Twitch channel and when we stream live on YouTube as well are all related to those to STEM in some way. So like our Monday shows, science and stuff, bring on a guest from the Saturday morning CBS Mission Unstoppable show, and we get to talk more in depth about their careers. Our Wednesday shows, they differ. Sometimes they're about gaming, sometimes they're STEM besties, where we all go in a circle and it's like a roundtable discussion about different science facts and different science news stories happening, and it's really fun. We just had an episode yesterday, and I think we all learned a lot, and so it's a dream come true. There's also the shows on Thursdays. Today I learned, where we get to just try out a science experiment, and someone who is a professional in that field actually walks us through it. So today we have that happening with neuroscientist Julia Ravey, and she's going to be teaching us how to make our own optical illusions, and she's going to teach us kind of what's going on in our brains while that's happening. So we're going to bring her out in just a little bit, but before that, in case you're not too familiar with our content or anything like that, make sure you follow us across all social media at CBS Unstoppable. You will get to learn some cool science facts. You'll get to see women working in really cool fields. You might even learn about jobs that you never knew existed, and maybe that's a career path you want to study. So definitely worth following. In case you are watching on Twitch right now, our chat is followers only. So make sure that if you want to participate in the chat, which you absolutely should, make sure you're following us. Make sure you subscribe to us. Another really exciting announcement, and something that's been going on with Mission Unstoppable for the past 8 weeks or so, is we've had this very fun new series called STEM Loft, and it's with Miranda Cosgrove, and she shares different science news stories or science facts with us. They're really cool. I've learned a lot from them, and there's no one I'd rather learn these facts from than Miranda Cosgrove. So it's awesome. After you watch this episode, make sure you go to YouTube and check them out. I think we actually even have the trailer, so you can check out the trailer right here.
I'm Miranda Cosgrove. Welcome to the STEM Loft. Join me each week as I tell you some of my favorite STEM facts. Ever heard of the immortal jellyfish? Or what about tree farts? Yep, you heard it right. I even share some amazing discoveries from my friend, Dr. Jessica Esquivel, and her work involving quantum realms. Go Sharks! It's gonna be so much fun. New episodes every Friday. The mushrooms are listening. Bye!
We here at Mission Unstoppable love that series. We just, we got to learn a lot from it. It's very fun, and again, like I said, you'll learn something new from Miranda Cosgrove, so it doesn't get much better than that. But other than that, today we have, like I was saying before, we have a very exciting show. We have Julia Ravey here, and Julia is a very, very, very smart, awesome person. She's a neuroscientist. She does science communication for companies like BBC. She has a blog. She's a writer. She does really awesome stuff, and she has all different social media accounts where you can also follow along on her journey and hear more about what she's doing. And so again, she's here today to teach us about optical illusions and to help us make our own, and we can kind of see what's happening while it's happening. So let's go ahead and bring Julia on and get going with it. Yay! Hello!
Hello!
How's it going?
Yeah, it's going well, it's going fine in the UK. It's dark outside now, but we've got the lights on here and we're gonna have a great time. So yeah, all
yay!
Good.
I'm excited. Like Julia said, she's in the UK. We're over here in LA, so I'm glad we were able to do this even from across the ocean.
Yeah, that's the amazing thing about technology, isn't it? We can all share our knowledge and our passions from wherever we are in the world. It's amazing.
Exactly. And speaking of that, so what exactly do you do as a neuroscientist, and what are some of those awesome science communication things that you do as well?
By training, I'm a neuroscientist, which essentially means I study the brain. I can't read people's minds, sadly. I mean, that would be a really fun thing to do, but I don't get taught that. Yeah, I don't get taught that at school. So I studied the brain, and in particular, I studied a disease called Alzheimer's disease. So this is a disease that sometimes people get when they're older, and they start to lose their memory. So for my PhD, which I went to university and then I went on to do a PhD, I studied this disease to try and understand what's going on in the brain. But then outside of school, I really just love the brain and all of its amazing quirks anyway. So then I decided to start talking about that on social media, like on Instagram and on TikTok and on YouTube. And after I finished my PhD, I then moved over to do a full-time job as a science communicator. I'd say like science journalist maybe. So I now work for a radio show in the UK, which is a science radio show. So each week we get to go through cool science news stories to see what's the coolest things happening out there in the world of science. And then we do big features as well. So we focus on, for example, I did a show last week on human behavior and why we behave the way we do. So that was my show last week, and that was like a half-hour show. So it's a really fun and interesting combination of science and also like performing, because I always loved drama when I was younger and dance and everything like that. So it's like the perfect amalgamation of the two.
Yeah, I love that. And it's awesome to just be able to see how you can combine both of those, because I think it's a common misconception that if you're in a STEM career, you can't necessarily do something that's more creative like performing. But look at you. You're able to combine both and teach other people things about STEM that they wouldn't know. So you're teaching people about the brain and other science stories every week. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think being creative is like one of the most important things about being a scientist. But like you said, it's not necessarily spoken about when you're thinking about maybe going into a career in science or studying science, because people say, you know, you've got to be good at maths, you've got to be good at this and that. And I just think the most important thing as a scientist is to be creative and to be open-minded, because you're faced with so many different problems and you think, if I can tackle that from a different angle and be creative with it, I might get a really cool answer. If everyone thought the same, then we wouldn't advance in science. So it's really important to be creative.
Totally. That's awesome. And it just, yeah, exactly. It brings a fresh perspective to everything you do. So that's very fun. I love that. I love what you're doing. And so today you're kind of doing the same thing with us you're going to bring us on a journey where we learn about optical illusions and then we get to make our own.
Yeah, exactly. I thought optical illusions is a really fun topic to do, because it shows us how our brain has these quirks, how the brain works, and how sometimes our brain can almost trick us. And with optical illusions, I think it's really fun because you can know that what you're seeing is an illusion, but your brain still convinces you it's something else. So that's why I think they're really cool. And that's why I think it's fun to make them, because you make them and go, okay, well, I know this is an illusion. And then you look at it and you go, okay, I know it's an illusion, but I'm still seeing it. Even though I've just made it, I'm still seeing it as like not what it should be. So that's why I really think it's really cool to make them. And then cool to show like friends and family, you know, if you whip these out at parties or, you know, in school and be like, look at this, what do you think? And it's just like a cool little trick to show people.
Yeah, that's so awesome. I'm excited to make them. So we're going to make them, I think, a little later on, right? You're going to talk about optical illusions and then we'll make them after.
Yeah, I think we had some examples, some images that we could show to people to give an idea of what an optical illusion actually is, because I think with these things it's easier, you know, a picture says 1,000 words. It's easier for me to show than to just talk. So here is one of them. Okay,
here's the first one.
Lexi, we'll do this on you first, Lexi. So when you look at this image, what do you see?
I see a bunny. Like the ears are behind it, and then the eye, and then a little nose like on the other side of it.
Yeah. Do you see anything else?
So oppositely, I do see a duck.
There you go. That's the illusion. This is called the bunny duck illusion. So when you look at the picture one way, it looks like a rabbit. But then if you look the other way, it looks like a duck. But what you'll notice is you can't see both at the same time.
Right.
So
that's very weird.
It's a very strange thing, because your brain essentially, if you see a rabbit, your brain says that's a rabbit and you can see that. But if you say to your brain, no, it's a duck, you can see the duck. So it shows you how like what we're looking at is just not what's in front of us and what our eyes are seeing. Our brain is interpreting that information as well. So it's coming through, the brain goes, I think that's a bunny, and it sort of confirms to itself that's a bunny. And then you say, no, it's a duck. And then it sort of flips itself and goes, oh, hang on, yeah, it is a duck. So it's a really interesting way to show how the brain is so much more than just what our eyes are seeing. Or what we see in our vision is so much more than just what's in front of us. It's about interpretation as well. Yeah.
That's very weird. Yeah, now... And it's weird because I do just keep switching back and forth between seeing both of them. It's like if I'm looking from this angle at it here, then I see bunny. But then if I'm looking at it from this angle, then I see duck.
Yeah, it's so strange, isn't it?
It's so strange.
You can't see both at the same time. So there you go, there's a bunny duck. And I don't know if it says anything about you if you see one or the other first. I definitely don't know if there's any, if it says anything about you. Apparently, though, there was a study, I was reading about this, that at Easter time, apparently more people see it as a bunny. If you show it to kids for the first time, then more people will see it as a bunny when it's Easter because they're thinking about rabbits more.
That's so wild.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's in your brain, so when you see it, you probably just see that. But wow. Yeah. So the time of year can affect when you see it, what you see.
Yep. It just shows that your brain has all these filters and is, even without you really knowing it, under the level of your consciousness, your brain is thinking, oh, there's more bunnies around this time of year, or I'm seeing bunnies on candy bar, chocolate wrappers, you're seeing them everywhere, and it'll see you more. So yeah, really interesting one. So that was one of the illusions I wanted to show. There was another one, and this is sort of a series of images really, because I feel like with this one, you sort of need to almost like palette cleanse your eyes. So here's the first image. You remember this image? I think it was from like 2016. Yes. So for people who haven't seen this before, this is an image that went viral on like Twitter in I think 2016 of this dress. And people were convinced either way that the dress was blue and black or the dress was white and gold. Lexi, what do you see it as?
So right now what I see is white and gold, and that's what I initially saw it as when it first was shown, but then after like a few days of it going viral and me seeing it more, then I started seeing the blue and black version. Celebrity Brookie in the chat says, I've always seen blue and black.
Yeah, I'm the same. Well, I saw white and gold initially, but now I see blue and black right now in front of my eyes. Because I think now I know. Yeah. So right now I see it as blue and black, which is really funny.
I fully see white and gold right now.
Really?
I agree, Sturgeon. I see white and gold.
That's crazy because, so essentially for this little illusion, I'm sort of going to change it to white and gold. So you'll probably still see it as white and gold because right now I see it as blue and black. And essentially this is because this picture has been taken in like a shadow. And so your brain is trying to, well, it's not really clear if it's been taken in a shadow or if it hasn't been taken in a shadow. So if you're seeing it like it's in a shadow, you'll see the dress as white and gold. It's changing now in front of my eyes to white and gold because I'm thinking about a shadow being on the dress. But if you don't think of it as being in a shadow, you think that is the dress as it is, it all of a sudden is blue and black because your eyes are doing that subtraction. Is it changing?
I want to try to see it black and blue right now, but it's fully white and gold for me.
So it's changing now to white and gold like in front of my eyes, but it's blue and black like before it was really blue and black because I'm just thinking of it in a different way.
But yeah, you're able to change how you see it by what you're thinking about?
Essentially, like, because I've seen it like lots of times, I'm thinking of it now like if it's in a shadow, I'd see that dress as white and gold. If you think of putting something in a shadow, it's a little bit more muted. Your brain automatically does sort of a subtraction of that's in a shadow. In a shadow, that colour there, that is blue, that will actually be white because it's in a darkened shadow. So what I'm trying to do is subtract the shadow to see the real colour. But it's not in a shadow. So what you will see instead is blue and black. And it's quite hard. And once you sort of get used to it, you can sort of change in between. But it's a bit tricky to do so. Yeah, it's really confused. So I've got like a few images here, but this will turn it into white and gold. So people who already see it in white and gold will see it in that. But what I can do later, I think if you take the image, so if you go onto Google, take the image, and if you change the colours, if you make it slightly darker, you'll see it as blue and black. If you change the lighting, so if you just make it less bright, you'll see it as blue and black. And it is blue and black, the dress. Yeah, really interesting.
Wait, the dress is blue and black?
The dress is 100% blue and black, yeah, 100%.
It's white and gold.
It's 100% blue, like as in the actual dress that the person had in the shop. It was blue and black. Oh,
that's so wild.
Yeah. But I can see the white and gold.
Right now, I'm still trying to see it as
blue and black. But when you look at the top panel where it looks gold, that is actually black. If I blur my eyes a bit from there, if I sort of make my eyes go a little bit fuzzy, I don't really look at the rest of the dress, it's sort of, you can see the blue coming through.
I do see a little bit of blue coming through, but I'm not seeing, like, when I've seen it before, I've seen that almost like darker blue and then black. Like it is, like when I've been able to see it. Right now, there might be a little bit of light blue coming out, but I don't see the black. I'm still seeing the gold.
If you see, I sort of like, if I make my eyes go a bit hazy, I can see the blue and black much more than the white and gold. It's you know
really what?
Strange.
I'm looking slightly above it with my eyes blurred, and I'm seeing it more. Like just out of my peripherals.
Yeah. If you look a bit to the side, it now probably looks blue and black.
Yes, it does. You are absolutely correct.
Yeah. And if you look back to it, it'll start to change into white and gold again, probably.
It did.
That's so strange,
weird.
Isn't it? Yeah. So I just put this image up, and there was a few images in between to sort of cleanse the palette. So we could flip through some of them. So we just flip through, and this sort of like is essentially getting your vision back to. If you're thinking of it as blue and black, then what you do now is you look through a few different images to sort of remove that from your mind. So there's this. I just put a few nice scenic images on there. It's really lovely. Spring is coming. This looks nice. Some ice cream.
Looks delicious.
We all love an ice cream. Yeah, we do. Dogs. We like a dog.
We love a good dog. And then
I think that's one. We do love a good dog. And then New York. So there you go. And now I think there was a zoomed in image of the dress. And essentially this sort of should look white and gold.
It does. I'm trying to do the peripheral thing again to see if it'll change. But is this the one that you changed on Google where you changed the colors?
No, this hasn't been changed at all. It's the same image, but just zoomed in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm seeing white and gold.
Yeah, so if you flip through these few images now, essentially if you saw it as, that looks white and gold to me. If you saw it as blue and black before, this will probably look white and gold. And when you zoom in, it's again that adjustment with the shadow, and that looks white and gold to me.
Me too.
And then if you see the dress again after this, it's more likely to probably look white and gold if you saw it as blue and black before. It's just about that shadow sort of subtraction, which is really...
Oh, so since you don't see any sort of shadow when it's so zoomed in, you see that white and gold?
Yeah, exactly. Your brain's sort of doing that calculation again. That looks much more white and gold to me than it did before. But again, if we do that thing where we take our eyes slightly to the side and look at it in the periphery, it's blue and black.
Yep.
And then you come back to it and it sort of changes through your eyes.
What does it mean that some people do, like, see it, like, that they're seeing that shadow and saying, okay, there's a shadow, so I'm seeing it differently, but other people are like, no, that is blue and black. There's not really taking into consideration that shadow.
There was some actually quite interesting research on this, and one person who had a little sort of survey and looked into it apparently found that people who would be awake later at night, so people who we sometimes call night owls, who like to get up a bit later and stay awake a bit later, they'd be more likely to see the dress as blue and black because they're used to artificial lighting. And then people who saw it as, someone who can't see white and gold at all there, and they just see it as blue and black. I'm the same. I mostly see it as blue and black, but sometimes I can trick myself into seeing it as white and gold.
So Slurpy Burpy, right now, with that zoomed in one, please leave a comment in the chat with what you're seeing, because that is purely white and gold.
I think if you look at like the top bit where there's that panel, where there's a block colour, and you look at the light part of that starts to look yellow. That starts to look gold, and then the rest sort of fades into the white and gold. The brain sort of corrects itself. It goes, well, if that bit's gold, then in reference, the colour next to it, that's going to be white, based on what I know white to be compared to gold. It's all sort of like comparison. So if you say, gold would be the number 5 and white would be the number 0, there's always going to be 5 points in between. And then blue and black might be the same sort of. So your brain's doing all these sort of subtractions of what it expects to see next to yellow if it was that different shade, essentially, which is crazy. But yeah, apparently they saw as well people who are more likely to get up early in the morning, they would be more likely to see the dress as white and gold. because they're more likely to have natural light and there'd be a shadow in front of that dress in that sort of situation. They think, oh, it's in shadow because it's natural light. Whereas people who go to bed later and stay up later, they're more used to artificial light. So they would assume the dress is not in shadow, it's just being lit by a room. So that was one thing that came out of it, apparently. Like, it depends how much light you naturally will be exposed to. Sometimes dictates, I think there's a shadow there, or I don't think there's a shadow there.
Wow. Wait, that's actually wild. I would have never expected that. And I do like getting up early, so it makes sense for me that I'm seeing white and gold.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm an early bird. So that was just a small study. I'm not sure how legitimate that was, but I think it's just essentially, if your brain's saying there's a shadow there, that will dictate what colour you sort of see it as, which is quite interesting.
So it's your brain kind of predicting what to see, or kind of filling in with what it's used to, and that's what it sees?
Yeah, our brains are both very smart and sometimes they're a bit too quick to the mark, I would say. So our brain likes to predict what it's going to see and what it's going to expect to see. So for example, you know, when you sometimes see like a coat hanging on a banister or on like a coat rack, and out of the corner of your eye you think that's a person. Because what your brain essentially has done is seen this figure in the side of your eye and gone, that figure is shaped like a person, so that is a person. So in that moment where you think there's a person there, your brain actually thinks that is a person, until you turn and you can sort of tell your brain, no, that's a coat on a stand. So your brain sort of automatically says, I know what that shape is. That shape is normally a person, so therefore there is a person there. And until you turn and correct yourself and say, no, it's a coat and a stand, that's when your brain will be like, okay, that's a coat and a stand. So that's why you get these jump scares sometimes from like, you know, seeing something out the corner of your eye. Your brain actually does think that is a person right there, but it's not, it's a coat.
Our brains are playing pranks on us all the time.
They are. It's nearly April Fool's. It's April Fool's every day.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So there's one more picture, but it's fine if we don't have time. That one's quite a cool one for
we
colour
totally
vision.
have time. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so
I'm
this
actually
one
gonna even...
is really cool. So what you have to do is look at the black dot in the middle of this picture. Oh, hang on. We need to go to the coloured picture first, if that's okay. There's a coloured version of it. Yeah.
Moment.
So
I think we're pulling it up.
There's one that's really like psychedelic. Yeah, this is it. So what you're essentially going to do is stare at the black dot in the middle of the screen for about 10 seconds. And then what we'll do is put up that image that was just up before, so the alternative version, and tell me what you see. So we'll just look at that black dot and we just focus on that. We're taking in those lovely colours.
Yes.
And then if we change the image to the other one,
whoa,
what does that look like now?
There's color in it.
It definitely,
Yeah,
it looks green. Like I'm seeing grass, I'm seeing like green trees.
Look away from the black dot.
It's back to black and white.
Yeah, yeah. So your
So
brain
what's happening
essentially-
there?
Yeah. So what you're doing is you're focusing on that black dot. You're sort of honing in all your vision onto that sort of brightly coloured. So your brain's sort of getting used to all the colours being there. And then you put the black and white image there and the brain goes, okay, I know trees are green. I know sky is blue. I know the grass is green. I'm just going to fill in that colour for you. And even though it's not there, the brain fills in the colour for you.
What?
Without it being there. Yep. Yeah. And you know, that's why it's crazy, because you know it's an optical illusion. You know it's black and white. But when you see that change for the first time, you go, that's a colour image. But you know that it's not. Your brain just fills it in automatically.
So what's the reason that seeing that like psychedelic colored one first, what makes you see the other colors after?
I think essentially the psychedelic one is essentially conditioning your brain to seeing colour. Okay. It's not necessarily what colours, it's just like, wow, loads of bright colours, and all of those little cells in your eyes that pick up colour are alert and ready to go. And they're sending signals back into your visual cortex, which is right at the back of your head here. Your cells in your eyes are sort of saying, there's colour, there's colour, there's colour. And so when the black and white image comes on, those cells are probably still bleeding through of like, there's colour in this. So it fills in the colour that it thinks should be there. And then it's actually not there, and your brain will just fill it in. So yeah, that's definitely your brain playing a trick on you, because even though you know it's a black and white image, what you see essentially like a park with loads of colours.
That's so funny. Yeah, no, it just happened again, like while it was up on the big screen. It looked like a normal day at the park, seeing in full color.
Full color, and then you look away from the black dot and you go, hang on a minute, it's black and white.
Right,
yeah,
and
so it just shows
even with that, like even once it turned back to black and white, I was like, well, how can I see it in color again? But it won't let me know that I've seen it in black and white.
Yeah.
After a few seconds of it.
Yeah, goes back to it. But yeah, it's really interesting essentially how our brains, like I said, preemptively fill in this information that I think should be there. And it does this so many times throughout our normal daily lives. And there'll be times we don't even realise that it's doing it. But it really does sort of try and jump the gun a little bit and play tricks on you and, you know, be like, I know what this is, I'll sort this out straight away. And it can be completely wrong.
That's, you know, our brains, like we said, they're little tricksters.
They are little tricksters. So we should make some of our own optical illusions.
Let's make our own. Yay. Okay, so what materials do we need?
So yeah, we need some paper, we need a ruler, pencil, we've got a nice felt tip pen there, black felt tip pen, we've got colours as well, and then a rubber or an eraser, I call it a rubber, you call it a razor. Yeah, so we've got all of those together, and that's it. That's essentially all we need to get going.
Yay! Awesome.
Brilliant.
I'm excited.
So yeah, I'm going to be doing mine electronically. So I've got just one pen, but it'll do all of the things. So that's completely fine.
I love it.
So the first one we're going to do is something which is really simple, where we take our ruler and we're going to draw 2 lines horizontally, so across the page, that are the exact same length. So I would say like 5 centimeters. So if we draw a line.
Just anywhere in the middle of the page?
Yeah, just 2 lines. So
how far apart should they be?
So I've drawn mine like that, just like 2 lines like this. Yeah, doesn't really matter how far apart they are. But we'll just draw 2 lines. And this is a really simple optical illusion to make. And it always really like wows me when I do this one. Because, yeah. Perfect. So we've got our 2 lines there. So on the top line, what we're going to do is draw on the ends of each point, draw like an arrow pointing inwards, if you will. So like a little triangle, like one of these.
Okay.
So if you draw that on each end of the top one. Yeah. And then what we're going to do on the bottom one is draw the arrow but going the other way. So you draw the points like an arrow that's pointing outwards. So like that. Yeah.
Good thing we have the erasers.
Yeah, it's always good to have erasers to hand with these types of things. Just fun. Okay, fabulous. Right, so now if you look at these, if you put these up in front of you and look at them, what can you see?
This one looks bigger.
Yeah.
Like longer.
Yeah, and the one below looks shorter, right?
It does.
But they're the same because you drew them exactly the same.
They're both 5 centimeters.
Yeah. It's just essentially the positioning of those arrows on the end changes how long or short the lines look. So if you went to someone...
Well, is it because like this one, it goes out further, so our brains are like, oh, that must be bigger because it's out further?
Yeah, it's because of the angle of the arrows on the end. So the arrows that are pointing inwards, it makes the line feel shorter. But it looks like significantly quite shorter.
It looks a lot shorter. I'm confused.
But they're the same.
They are the same when I like...
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, but they look quite significantly different. And it's a really cool one to show friends. If you go, which line's longer? And everyone's like, it's the top one. You go, no, they're the same.
Yeah, they look so different. That's so funny. Yeah, look at that.
I'm going opposite there, but they look so different. Yeah.
That's so
So
funny.
that's a really simple one that you can do.
Oh
and
my
so
gosh.
we'll go up,
that's a good one.
We'll go up a level now and do one that's takes a little bit more time. But this one is circular. So sometimes it's easy if you have like a coin or like, you know, something circular that you can draw around. But if not, it doesn't matter. We can just, perfect. Yeah, hand sanitizer, all the uses for that. So if we draw, so what you want to do for this is you want to take a page and you want to draw 2 circles, one on each side, but quite far apart, but with enough space that there's space around them, essentially. So a bit further in than that you want to do. I'll draw some here and show you. Sort of like this, like 2 little eyes.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Go like right.
So yeah, sometimes this one's a good one to do with, like in the UK we'd use like a 1p coin, a 2p coin and a 5p coin because they're all different sizes. So it's like good to have an array of circles. It's sort of cool, like on this that I draw, it sort of makes the circles for you. So it's a bit of a cheat way to do it, but
nice. Mine weren't perfect
so
circles.
No such thing as a perfect. I'm just going, it's just impossible to draw a perfect circle. Mine are like little ovals, so that's completely fine. So with both of our circles now, what we're going to do is surround them. But with one of them, we're going to surround them with 6 small circles. So like if you look in your ruler there's a little circle in the top. You could maybe use that actually.
And do 6 around each of them?
So 6 around that one, yeah, with the little circles. So you want to draw 6 little circles. And I like to fill them in with colour, so we can maybe colour them with just a black pen. That should do it. But
I'll do it in just a second. Do we do it in like a circle around it?
Yeah, in a circle around it, yeah. So
awesome.
So you do like 1 at the top, 1 at the bottom, and then 2 on each side to make it somewhat symmetrical. I mean, like I said, definitely doesn't have to be perfect in any way, but
alrighty, I'm gonna color mine in now. I colored mine in.
Yeah, they're looking good, and maybe the one in the middle as well we can color in.
Beautiful. Should I do it in the same color? Stick with
yeah,
one?
in the same color. Yeah, the same color.
Thank you.
The pen's
Given a
running
bigger
low.
one.
Yes, it's good to get a big chunky pen so you can just go and colour it in. Oh, that's brilliant. Fabulous. Amazing. So then what you're going to do with the other circle is around that one, you're going to draw 6 circles again, but bigger than the ones on the outside. So sometimes that's why we need a little bit of space. So you're going to go for, instead of little ones, you're going to go for big ones like this.
Okay, bigger than the one that's here.
Yeah, so sometimes that's why it's sometimes good with the coins, because you can like judge it, but it's fine. Like as long as it's a bit bigger, then that's fine. You can just go freehand.
Yep.
You just go for it.
Thank you.
It
is
perfect.
bigger.
There you go.
If I go from the outside, it's bigger. It's a lot bigger.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Yes, that's what we want. That's fine. We can. You can make that work. I think. You probably fit it in.
I'm gonna try to do a little smaller.
Just a little bit smaller.
Those look about the same. I'm just gonna freehand it.
Just freehand. Yeah, we can freehand it.
Two of mine are touching.
Yay! It looks good. It's like, okay, then what we do is we colour them in, but I don't want your hand to like fall off with all the colouring. But essentially, yeah, we colour all those in like the same as that one. And what you'll see is if you look at my screen, I can show you.
Ooh,
So-
okay, I see what it's doing. It's making the one where the big circles are around it look like the middle circle is smaller than the one that has the little circles around it.
Exactly, yeah, but we know because we drew them, they're the exact same size.
It looks
Oh.
significantly smaller.
It does, doesn't it? It's this sort of surrounding effect of your brain saying, well, that one must be smaller in the middle because it's comparing it to the ones on the outside. And then saying, well, that one in the middle must be bigger because the circles around it are smaller. And it's sort of compared together. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that's really cool as well. That's another one where you go, well, I know that I drew that. So I know they're the same size, but they look so different.
What the
next
heck?
to each
That's
other.
so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a really cool one, isn't it? It's a good one.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
It's another good trick. So next up, I thought what we could do is one where we need our colours, so we make it a little bit more vibrant, a little bit more fun, a little bit more bright. And this one involves tracing around your hand first and foremost. So we've got to
Tracing our
your
hand?
Yeah,
Got
so
some,
tracing around, so if you do like a handprint, and just using your pencil, going around your fingers like this.
Perfect. I'm gonna put that aside for later.
Oh, nice.
It's like when you probably never did this in the UK because it's a Thanksgiving thing, but in America in elementary school for Thanksgiving we would trace our hands and turn them into turkeys.
Oh my goodness, did you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because would that be like the head, the thumb,
Exactly.
and then you'd have the feathers like that.
Yep.
No, we didn't do that.
That's so funny. Yeah, that was
Yeah, I wanna
I
do
messed
that.
up here.
That's okay. That's fine. It still is. It looks like a hand, so we're all good. So for this one, yeah, it's about we take 4 colours for this one, and we're gonna make this hand look 3D pretty much. So we're gonna trick our brains that this hand is sort of popping off the page a little bit. So I don't know what colours. I think I'll go for like a pink maybe first. And the way we do this is essentially we're gonna draw a straight line. So I will show you on mine. So in pink. So we draw like lines like that.
Ooh, okay.
So a straight line, but missing out where the hand is pretty much like that.
And do we do multiple with the same color or do we switch colors?
So what you want to do is you want to go on one colour and then you go a different one, a different one, a different one, and then you go back to the first one. So you're going to do it with
Okay.
4 different colours. Yeah.
And how far
so you'd
apart do
start
each of
with
the
that.
lines go?
they'll be touching each other. So you want to essentially have them touching each other. So what we might do here is just do a bit of this one to show, and then if we don't have time, people can take it away and you can finish it off. Because this is quite, I find this one to be quite therapeutic. You know, when you're like drawing for quite a long time, you can get quite into the zone, I find.
Yeah, it is fun.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. They're kind of close in color. It's hard to see that those are different colors on the camera, so I'm going to switch for the future ones. To something further.
Yeah, I've gone for
color.
Yeah, so maybe we'll do the first 4 colours, and then I'll show you what you do with the hand, and then maybe I'll show you a finished product version of it.
Ooh, okay. That sounds fun.
Yeah, we can looking good. There we go. So there are 4 different colours, right?
Mm-hmm.
Brill. So then what you do essentially is when you get to the hand, so I've got 4 colours on mine here.
Uh-huh.
And when you get to the hand, if you take the top colour again, so for me that's a pink colour, instead of drawing straight, you draw it like a little curved line. Let me just change my pen so it's a bit easier to do. Like a little hill. Like...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So every time you get to where you join the line, but with a little curve when it hits the hand. And essentially what you'll do is you go through each colour and do this. So following the colours.
This is fun. I agree with you. This is therapeutic.
It's really therapeutic, isn't it? It's sometimes nice if you've got like nice relaxing music on, or it's raining outside. It's nice to just sit and do some like drawing. Yeah, like it's really. Oh, there we go. Look at that.
This is very, very nice. I want to color all day now.
I know, I get really into it, and then it's like, oh no, I have to go and do work. I just want to color. I want to do work.
So normally what you would do is you would color in the whole hand like this, and then you can kind of see like where the curves are. That's where it would raise up the hand.
Yeah, so normally you color in. Yeah, so exactly, you've done, yeah, so it's like this. So, I can never get used to which way I'm going, opposite. So yeah, yeah. And I've got an image from, this is from Google, I did not make this one. But what happens is, over time, let me just close that, you end up with this.
Ooh, that's awesome. I want to finish this later today and try that.
Yeah, It takes a while, but like it's quite like nice to do. And what you end up with is this it looks like the hand is popping off the page, even though it's flat.
Yeah,
your brain, because your brain is looking at the curves, and the brain processes those curves as being 3D from the flat page. So it's a technique to do.
Cool.
You can draw pretty much anything, and if you do that sort of like if you did like a ball, like a circle, and you did the exact same thing, like a straight line, curve, straight, that will then look like it's popping off the page as well.
That's awesome.
So that's a really
the
nice
different.
thing to do.
Ooh, the different colors that we're using, that kind of helps us to see it as like, this is where the curves are, so then it brings it up off the page.
Yeah, you can do it in black and white as well. Black and white is pretty cool, but I think the colors just add a little bit more dimension to it. It makes it look like, I don't know, to me it just looks way nicer, like lots of different colors, and you can change the colors. And you can do it in just black and white as well, and it just gives that illusion of the hand or whatever it is you're drawing is standing out from the page.
I want to do another set of 4 of them on this one, just to see how different it'll look. I'm gonna
just to see if you keep going through. I'll do some too. And that's why, it's good to draw the hand in like a pencil, because then you end up getting rid of like the pencil line, because you're going over it with the colours. And then it really does give that illusion. Because if there was a boundary there, your brain would see the boundary and be able to say, oh, I know that's just traced. But when there's no boundary, it helps.
It helps the brain just see it as a hand,
as a
raising
3D,
off the...
Yeah, like, it's like, well, those lines, the reason those lines, it doesn't see them as lines, it just sees it as that's raised off the page. It doesn't think of it as like a straight line with a curve with a straight line with a curve. It just sees it more so as a continuous sort of picture. And that's why it pops off like that, which I think is...
That's awesome.
Really
the
nice.
Brain is helping make this picture look way cooler than it actually might be.
Yeah, and you think, oh, this is really like, it's nice and pretty straightforward to do. But yeah, the brain then makes it look even cooler than it is.
We love that for the brain.
We do love that for the brain.
Ourselves.
For our brains, yeah. We do this cool things. It may sometimes tell us that a dress is white and gold and it's blue and black, but it does also let us do these cool 3D tricks, so...
Exactly. It can frustrate us while we're trying to argue with our friends that they are wrong and the dress is white and gold.
Yeah.
But it can also help us do really cool art.
Really cool art, yeah. There's lots of really cool things you can do with art. And there's great stuff on YouTube, like if you want to make 3D, pictures and things like that, but all of it's flat on a page. There's loads of cool techniques you can do with shading to really give you that 3D effect. And I remember learning about that when I was at school doing art when I was about 11. We learned how to do 3D drawing, and I just thought it was the coolest thing. It's like I can make something 3D with just like a pencil. Yeah, it was really cool.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And yet again, you know what this is showing? How art and science can go together.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
How an artist will make something depends on how our brains would perceive it. So you have to know both.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Yeah. How our brains perceive something is really crucial to art. Because if we looked at, I don't know, a painting, and we just thought, well, that's just a bunch of lines on a piece of paper, or that's a bunch of lines on a canvas, then it really takes, your brain has to process this sort of depth and dimension to be able to see paintings and pictures. And that's all because of the brain and how we trick it using different shading and different texture to see in 3D in like a painting or a picture. Oh, yours looks really cool now. You can see it starting to pop off.
Especially if you look at it from the camera instead of how I'm seeing it here. Like, you do kind of see how where it's... Ooh! I totally see it. That's awesome. Yeah. This is fun. I really like this one.
Yeah, that's a really cool one. I just love it with the colours as well, because you can really play around with loads of different colours and like different objects and make these really neat 3D images. I think they're just really cool.
Wow,
really
yeah,
cool.
that's so awesome. I'm gonna finish this later today.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be something that I'm going to do on my like tea break tomorrow when I'm like, let's have a nice calm tea break. I'll do some drawing. Amazing. Well, I think we've got time maybe for one more. And I thought the last one that we could do, this one's quite a quick one as well, but I thought we could make our own duck/rabbit picture.
Ooh, okay. I'm down. That sounds fun.
Yeah, we can make our own duck/rabbit picture. So this one, it's a quite nice line drawing to do. So what I maybe will do is I'll draw it in little bits and hold up my iPad so people can see what we're doing. So we're gonna make what we saw at the very beginning of the stream, which was the duck/rabbit, but we make it in a bit more of a cartoony way because I'm not Picasso. I can't be making things like that. So the first thing you're gonna do is draw a line. Hang on, let me just move this around a bit. First thing we're going to do is draw a line and like this.
Awesome. I'm going to use my ruler so I don't mess it up.
So like a line at the bottom and then like half a curved, almost like half a dome. There we go, that's better.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
So like a dome, but like only half of it, essentially. And then on the other side, you're going to draw almost like, is that like a backwards P or is that a P? I don't know which way. So we're going up, and then when you get near the top, you're going to do a little circle. It's like a Q, almost like a lowercase Q, isn't it?
Yeah, without the extra line.
Without the extra line. And then you're going to join those two little bits up with, I'll show you now, with a line like
this.
Fun. Yeah, with a curved little line. What we're then going to do is add in a little legs like this. So onto the thing you add in.
Oh, okay, fun.
So it's like, I don't know what that's like, almost like a D, isn't it? Like I don't know, like a curved line with little foot on it. Yeah, perfect. And one that's sort of poking out from the back. Yeah, that's brilliant. So that's next. Then we're going to add a line. Hang on a minute. Let's add this little curve on the bottom. So like this.
Ooh,
this
okay,
little,
yeah.
like 3 little bubbles from the bottom there. Perfect. And then we are going to add an eye sort of thing, like a circle and a line. Yeah.
And a line all the way to there.
Yeah. So what you've got there is like a little bunny.
Uh-huh. I see the bunny for sure.
And if you turn it 90 degrees, so you turn it so it's that way, you've got to... Yeah!
This is my proudest piece of art I've ever made.
It looks so good! Yeah, so you have the bunny that way, and then you have the duck.
That's awesome! Yeah, there it is! That's awesome! Oh
yeah, so
my
you
gosh.
have your own rabbit duck, and you can take that into people and be like, it's a rabbit, it's a duck. It works both ways.
I'm truly gonna go around the office today and show it to every person who's working.
Yeah, be like, what is this? Is it a rabbit or a duck? Yeah, so
Exactly.
it looks so cute though, and it's quite a nice, simple one to like draw if you think of it just as drawing it as lines. Because if someone says to me, draw a duck, I wouldn't know where to start. So I like to break it down into you drew this line, this line, this line, and then it comes up really cute.
It does. I love this. This is, wow. This is so fun. I'm going to look at the bunny again. Look at that bunny. I love bunnies. And then look at that. A duck.
Yep, and it's again your brain now thinks that's a duck, and so it'll think, I'm seeing a duck, and then when you say it's a bunny, you turn it around, it's seeing a bunny. So yeah, really cool. But they were some of the illusions, which I think are really nice to do, fun to show your friends, and the cool ways to illustrate how our brains trick us.
Oh my gosh, that was so fun. Okay, so we got our bunny and duck, we got our hand, which I'm going to finish later. Right now it just looks like lines because you can't really see the pencil, but we got our hand, and then we have the one from earlier with the circles. You don't see mine that aren't filled in. Look at that. Yours are really good. That one, I can totally see the difference, even though there's not a difference. And then we had our lines at the beginning where it's like, yeah, we can see yours better. Yeah. It's so wild.
No, and that's just a few of there's so many more online and so many cool 3D things you can do with drawing that all rely on our brains processing, essentially, to show us that they look 3D or different.
How cool. Oh my gosh. Well, this was so much fun. We got to learn a lot about optical illusions today. We became optical illusion artists. So that's really fun. We're literally artists now. That is so much fun. Exactly. Thank you so much for joining. Where can people follow along with you and your journey and everything you're doing?
Yeah, so I'm on social media, and essentially it's a variation of Julia Ravey, and then sometimes it says science on the end, sometimes it doesn't. But if you type in Julia Ravey on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter, on YouTube, I'll come up. Ravey's quite a strange name, so there's not many of us. So if you type in my name, I'm normally the first person to pop up. So yeah, follow along and share all sorts about the brain on there as well, and it's a really fun place to be.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining. This was so much fun. Thank you for teaching us everything. Have a great rest of your night, and we will talk soon.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been so much fun. Have a great day.
Yay. Thank you, you too. Guys, that was so much fun. Julia is so cool, and she's such a good teacher. She really knows how to walk me through drawing things when I'm not a good artist. So that was really cool. She taught us so much about the brain and how it works with the optical illusions. So thank you, Julia, for doing that. That was really fun. I'm actually very excited to show people my optical illusions and explain what's happening in the brain and why it's working that way. So thank you so much for teaching us about that. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We will be back here on Monday with science and stuff. We have Gracie Ermy on, who's gonna show us how she uses computer science out in nature. She has worked with all different kinds of animals in making computer algorithms with tracking elephants, with tracking killer whales, and now she's working with dolphins. It's really cool. Make sure you tune into Mission Unstoppable this Saturday on CBS, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you don't miss out on a new episode of Miranda Cosgrove's STEM Loft tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific time. You won't want to miss it. It's going to be good. We will see you next week, and thank you so much for tuning in. Goodbye.